great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of disease. Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. This is episode 588 of the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States, out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. StreamYard's acting weird today, Hooli. I don't know what's going on. It said it was showtime, but I was 10 minutes early, so I don't know what. And then it wouldn't let me start in LinkedIn, but I don't think anybody really watches in LinkedIn anyway, so what in the heck is going on? As long as people can see us, as long as our friends are here, it is all good, all good. How's everybody doing? Let me check in on Hooli real quick because we had a nice meeting today at the office. How you doing?
Hello. Good, good. It was very, very nice meeting. I loved it a lot. Big shout outs for everyone. So it was awesome.
You did a nice presentation on the CCD team. You want to tell everyone what the CCD team is and what it does?
Sure, sure. So, well, CCD team is basically everyone. When you call to our office, one of my team members pick up the calls and basically see if we're able to assist you legally. If you're looking for a legal team to help you with your case to move forward or to start the process, and basically hire us to help you with all this. So I'm glad to receiving those calls, and at the end of the line, see that some cases are already in this case the beneficiary getting their benefit, getting family reunited, and that makes me and all my team members, and I believe everyone in hacking, so happy to see those happy endings. So that's part of our job. So I love it so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Hooli.
You're welcome.
All right. So let's see who's here. Jay Cruz was first one here, all the way from North Dakota. And Yusuf was also here before the show started. So welcome to you guys. Hina's here, all the way from across the ocean. Raphael is in Tampa. Bless ups from Tyrone. Hope says, hello, Mr. Jim. Hello, Hope. JD in the house. JD in the house. Saying nice things. Thanks so much. JD's making their way through all the episodes and is on episode 485. Raphael has some good news for us. Our I-751 was approved. So that means, Raphael, they got their 10-year green card. How about that? All right. Joanna is here and says, greetings from sunny St. Kitts. Whoa, wouldn't we all want to be in St. Kitts right about now? Josephine's here. H&M is here. Lindy checking in. Hope's in Florida, of course. We got Jamaica in the house, straight out of Jamaica on the live for all the Yardies. Big ups. Raphael got the 10-year green card, so that's great. Yeah, Hina was at our meeting too today, so that was fun. I'm very excited, Art, about the Jets trading Zach Wilson. They didn't get much for him. They got to move up from the 7th round to the 6th round, but that's probably about all he was worth. Now he'll probably go win a Super Bowl or some damn thing. Joan Clark is here. Chris is here. Raphael's waiting on the N400. Robert says, what's up, playas? JD's in Ontario. Nijat is here from Palm Springs, California. And Josephine's wondering, can you expedite based on a previous denial? No, I wouldn't think that would be a good basis, but what do I know? All right. This is the Immigration Answer Show. Something is wrong with this. Okay. All right. I don't know what's going on. The numbers are off. It seems weird. I don't know. All right. Nan is here. Hello, Nan.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. I have two questions. So my fiance went for his interview this year for fiance visa. He was not given the visa because they gave him a paper saying that something to the effect of uh, oh shit, what is the word? Misrepresentation of paper, something that has to do with the documents that we submitted. I'm guessing. I can't find the exact words to use right now. Sorry, forgive me. Um, so he was refused. They said we qualify for a waiver But I'm thinking I went back home for us to get married. A friend of mine was telling me that because a waiver is in place that we qualify for, that I cannot like refile for marriage. We have to use the waiver before doing the marriage status. Is that true?
So let's be clear on a few things. So after the fiance visa was refused, you did in fact get married.
I went back home for us to get married. Yes.
Okay, so the
It was
day you got married, the fiance case was over.
it was over, right? Because he was denied. It was denied February 15th, and then I went back home February 22nd. The initial plan was that my cousin was getting married. I was gonna go, and he received his interview date. So I was thinking that he would get it, and then we will both fly back together.
Mm-hmm.
But since it didn't happen, we appealed to the court system. For them to, since I was only there for 2.5 weeks, to see if they could, allow us to get married, which they did allow us to get married.
I know, but let's say that he had gotten the fiance visa and then you went ahead and got married in your home country. That would have invalidated the fiance case. So not only was the case over because you were going to need a waiver, but what I want to make clear is that at the moment you got married, the fiance case was over.
It was over because he was denied. They didn't give it.
That's not exactly right, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. You're starting over. I just want to make that clear. Whatever waiver you have going on, all that stuff's over.
Okay.
Now you should still withdraw that fiance case and let them know that you want to shut that down, because otherwise it's going to be a roadblock to your next case. So you should formally withdraw that fiance case.
So how do I do that?
You send a letter to USCIS and the State Department, and let them know that you went ahead and got married and you're going to go a different way.
Okay. And I also want to do a name change. Should I wait before filing?
I hate to tell you, man, you're doing all the easy stuff. But you haven't dealt with the hard stuff. The hard stuff is why he needs a waiver, and I'm a little bit worried about the fact it seems like you're sort of glossing over it. What was the misrepresentation? This is the key to the whole thing.
If you give me 1 second, I can pull it up. Please give me 1 second.
Okay, sure. Too bad Matt's not here. We could ask him to play us a song with Priscilla on his banjo while we wait for Nan, but she's going to pull that up. Yeah, so people always got to be worried. Sometimes lawyers, sometimes notarios, and sometimes regular people want to do the easy part first. But you really got to focus on what's the hard thing. The hard thing is the misrepresentation. That could keep him from ever coming, right? So without the proper analysis, you might not have decided to even get married, right? So you got to deal with the hard stuff first, not the easy stuff. I'm going to make a video about this. Hard stuff first. All right, Nan, are you there? She's just chilling. Let's look at some of the comments. Beverly says, doing a great job. Thank you, Beverly. Adrian says, blessing in disguise. File for the CR1. Yeah, if he's going to need a waiver, that's probably the best bet anyway. Tyrone's given props to Raphael for his 751. Rich is sending the big ups from FLA. And we got Beverly here in Missouri, like me. And fake Wassily Chair is checking in all the way from Baltimore. All right. While we wait for Nan, I do have some news. In 2024, we're going to open an office in Chicago, and we're going to open an office in. We're also going to open an office in Detroit. We might open it in Dearborn, where all the Arabs are, or we might open it in Detroit. If anybody has some opinions on that, whether we should call the office Detroit or whether we should call the office Dearborn or where we should put it, I would really like to get some thoughts on that. I'm going to put Nan on hold. If she comes back in the waiting room, I'll pull her back up. I think she maybe got lost. Oh wait, here she is. You there, Nan?
It says that section.
Hello? Say that again. You went off screen for a minute. We couldn't hear you.
It says that section 212 Um, I'm
212, yeah. Keep going. 212 is all the inadmissibility problems. So you got to be a little more specific.
A6C1.
What was it? Say it again.
212 AC21.
All right, hold on a second. $212A2C1.
Yeah.
That's alleged drug trafficking.
No. Definitely.
Well, besides just the citation, why don't you know what it is? Why haven't you grilled the crap out of your fiance, now husband, about what this is all about? You should know everything about this.
So oh shoot. Can you just put me on hold and then let me pull up the paper on the computer, please?
Okay,
And I'll yeah,
that
please.
sounds
Thank
good.
you.
We'll come back. All right. Yusuf is here. Hello, Yusuf.
Yeah, hi Jim, how are you doing?
Great.
Yeah, so fortunately yesterday I was watching one of your videos talking about name change during naturalization, and it happens to be that you talked about my issue currently, which is naming in the Middle East. Yesterday was my naturalization interview, and I passed, and but there was one small issue. So where I come from, we use 4 segments to represent the full name. And when I got my green card, for some reason, they wrote my first name, the 3 first segments as my first name. So basically, my first name is my name, father name, grandfather name. Yesterday, the interviewer got confused with the whole naming thing, and he decided to remove my grandfather name and change my name into 2 segments. Which is my name and my father name. And he told me if you want to change that later, you can do it. And actually, when I discovered the whole issue, it was 2 weeks ago in the DPS when I got my driver license renewed, and I had already submitted my N400. Now my question is, what should I do in this case to have my name corrected? Should I do it before the oath ceremony, which is Saturday? Should I do it in the oath ceremony before it starts or after? What is the correct course of action here?
The correct protocol is to tell the officer and nail it all down while you're sitting there across from them before the ceremony. So why was this a new? It sounds like this might have been a new officer who didn't know what they were doing.
It seems like it, and honestly, I was nervous during the interview, so I did not get the chance to tell him I want my name to be this way. I was a bit nervous. He was a bit intimidating, actually.
What field
And
office?
in Irving, Texas.
And so, just to be clear, and I'm just going to make up some names. This is going to be easy for me because I'm going to use my kids' names: Yusuf Ismail Ibrahim Hader.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So right now it says on your green card Yusuf Ibrahim Ismail Hader, and you want it to be Yusuf Ibrahim and then Ismail Hader as your last name, or what do you want differently?
No, so my first name is Yusuf. My last name is Hader. This is how it is supposed to be, and I'm not using a middle name or any other name. So it's just Yusuf as first name and last name Hader. But the officer, he wrote my name. He changed my name into Yusuf Ismail.
Like Ismail's your last name?
No, Ismail is my father's name.
I know, but he wants you to be Yusuf Ismail Hader.
This is what he did, and he told me you can change it later. But honestly, I did not understand.
No, that's just him being lazy. That's bullshit. I would go to the Irvine office tomorrow and say, this is all jacked up and I want to bring it up before my interview on Saturday. I would go down there tomorrow.
Okay, I can do that actually.
Yeah. Say that guy doesn't know what he's doing. I got to clear this all up. Otherwise, it's going to just delay everybody's ceremony on Saturday.
Oh, I see. Okay, this is the best course of action.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I need to mention The ceremony is not going to be in a court in front of a judge. It's going to be in the same office. So, can is there a case where I would have to reschedule the ceremony to be in a court and do that?
Well, that's the other thing. It sounds like he's not doing anything. So, I mean, my understanding, and I don't know for sure, Yusuf, but what I've always believed is that if you are doing a name change, you have to see the federal judge. You can't do it administratively. Only the judge can change your name because they're the only ones that have the legal authority to change your name. So I think this guy didn't know what he was doing, or he was being lazy, or was it almost lunchtime? Maybe he wanted to go have a snack.
Actually, the system went down during the interview, and he had
Yeah.
to take me out and bring me back in again, and it was a whole mess.
Yeah, I would go right back down there first thing tomorrow, and I hate to say it, ask to see the supervisor.
Okay. What would that result in any issues in my application since it was approved, or just
No, I mean, no.
Okay.
The only thing that might happen is you might get out of the Saturday ceremony, but you might have to be out of it anyway if you want to get your name changed. But just say, look, I don't want to go through this thing. This is my one shot for free to change my name, and I want to make sure that everything's okay.
Exactly, and that's why I actually jumped into the stream to ask about it. And
Sure.
yeah, luckily I saw your video yesterday. It helped me a lot. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks, Yusuf.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, for sure. All right. Nan is back. Nan, you got it?
Yes. So it's section 212A6C1. It says that which prohibits the issuer of a visa to anyone who has willingly misrepresented a material fact to a counselor or immigration officer in order to obtain an immigration benefit.
Okay, great. So what are they talking about?
They didn't say. And then at the bottom,
Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't say. You know who has to say? Your husband. You should be grilling the shit out of your husband. Honey, I thought you were walking in to get your visa, but they said you misrepresented themselves. What in the hell are they talking about? Why are you not having that conversation with your husband?
I did. And he also says that he doesn't know. He has applied for
a visit visa before, and he lied.
Right. No, not that he lied. Somebody is when I filled the forms for him. And he, it was a while ago when he was in, I think, high school or something like that.
No. First of all, there's no such thing as I didn't lie. The somebody else filled it out for me. That's BS. It's his application. He signed it. They didn't sign it. These form fillers don't sign the things. He signed it. So I suggest you have him come on the show, and I'll get it out of him. I can find out what it is. But he's not being honest about this. He should say, yeah, baby, when I tried to get a visit visa to the United States, I told him I was married because I bet you $10 that's what it was.
But he's divorced. He was married before and he's divorced.
I'm just telling you that at some point in his life, and it was probably when he applied for a visit visa, it might have been when he was in high school, like you said, he told them he was married when he wasn't, or he told them he had a job when he didn't. Somehow he lied in order to try to get this visit visa. And the fact that you don't know that is a much bigger problem than whether or not he gets this waiver. The waiver is the easy part. You're running around doing all the easy stuff, getting married and all that other stuff. But you got to drill down and figure out what in the heck it is that's keeping him from getting the visa.
So after drilling him, then what's next? What would be next?
Well, then you have to file an I-130, and then you have to wait for that to play itself. He's going to go back to the embassy, and now you're having other problems because let's say he misrepresented himself back when he was in high school, like you said.
Right.
On the DS-160 he did for your case, and on the DS-260 that you'll have to do later, they're going to ask him a whole new question, which is, hey, have you ever lied to get an immigration benefit? And if he marked no on the DS-160, or if he puts it on there again on the DS-260, then what they do is they hit him over the head. You lied back then, and you're still lying because you lied in the new form. It's not that you lied back when you're in high school. You're still lying to us. So somebody's got to kick him in the ass and get him to be smart so he can be honest about what in the hell is going on. Otherwise, he is never coming to the United States. What embassy is this?
Ghana.
Yeah, dude. They don't believe anybody from Ghana, especially when it comes to marriages and funny business. If they're hitting with a misrep on a fiance case, I mean, everyone needs to tell you the chances of him actually coming to the United States right now, as we sit here today, even though he's married to a U.S. citizen, the chances are 20%. 25%. So if you had talked to me before you went over and got married, I would have told you that. And then you can make good decisions. But he's not being honest with you. And that scares the crap out of me.
Is there a way I can talk to you after the show?
I think I told you everything I wanted to say. If you want to hire us, you can call the office. If you want to hire us and talk it all through and let me put the fear of the Lord in him, because he's not taking this seriously enough. And if you want to hire us to do the I-130 and knowing that we're going to need a waiver, we can talk about what it's going to take to get a waiver down the line, because there's a lot of work that has to be done right now. And then for the next 2 years, I mean, he's not coming for 2 or 3 years. So that's number one. Number two, it's a 25% chance he's coming at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, if you want to call us, and if he wants to deal with me, and if he wants to pay the money for the amount of work it's going to take to get his butt here, we can talk about it.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Sorry, Nan. Yep. Sorry about that.
No problem. Thanks.
See ya. Sometimes people focus on the easy stuff. I see someone with their fingers crossed. There's literally someone in the waiting room with their fingers crossed.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
No, I don't think I've seen someone have their fingers crossed before. I see, just real quick, I see a friend of ours, Shiraz, is in the room. I'm going to get to you next. You were off for a second, so I'll come back to you in just a second. All right, Kieran, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Tim. I highly appreciate it. It seems like my situation is like one-off situation. So I tried calling your office and I'm finally here. I'll go very quickly, not to waste a lot of your time.
Take your time.
So I am currently in the United States, applied for my adjustment of status around March 27. The USCIS has my file, but before the United States, I was in Canada. I had applied for my citizenship in Canada, and I'm married now here in the US, but my citizenship in Canada got approved. They want me to appear for an interview in person in Canada. And since I've already applied for my AOS here, adjustment of status, I wanted to ask, would it be possible, would it be okay for me to tell the USCIS that I have applied for a Canadian citizenship, and if they can expedite my advance parole? I've already also have submitted my advance parole with my application.
I vote yes.
So, I just wanted to know if they hold it against you, if you already applied for a citizenship somewhere else and you get it.
Is your green card's based on marriage, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
It's based on marriage.
No, they might not do it. I mean, most expedite requests are denied. They might not do it, but it's worth a shot. They won't hold it against you. You have the right to do all those. You have the right to be a Canadian citizen and have a green card. So whether they'll do it or not, that's another question. I don't think they would think that's very compelling, and I think they probably would do it. And I think most expedite requests are BS anyway. I think even when they say they grant it, they don't really do anything. How long ago did you apply for advanced parole?
The thing was submitted. The form 131 was submitted along with my original application. It's not been a lot of time. It's only been the document was submitted March 27th this year.
Right before the deadline.
Right before the deadline, that's correct. But I did not, I was thinking, how can I really travel to Canada? I only need to travel for a day, so my intention to come back would be very clear, but I don't want to be lying to them or about anything.
Yeah.
And I also
here's the $1 million question on whether I'm comfortable with you leaving or not. Were you in status when you applied, or were you out of status?
I was in status. My I-94 expires in June of 2024.
When did you get married?
I got married in February.
When did you enter?
So here's the tricky part. I entered in October of 2023, but then I went back, me and my partner traveled to visit my parents. We traveled out of the US, and then we came back in December. So December was my entry point.
December what?
December 16th.
And when did you get married?
We got married on February 10th.
So that's a big problem. There's a rule that says you can't get married within 60 days of arrival.
So when I contacted somebody to apply on my behalf, they said that since I arrived in the US originally, In October, I should be good. Like that's with
That's total BS. Did a lawyer tell you that?
I applied through an agent and they told me yes.
Yeah. That's why you don't apply through agents. So now you can't go to Canada, and now you're going to have a big mess when you go to your green card interview because you got married within 60 days of arrival.
Oh my God,
That was incorrect advice. That's why we don't use agents. That's why we talk to lawyers.
So that's something that you told me. Wow. Okay. Okay. So my entry point in the US would be considered the December date, you mean to say? And I should have waited 3 months from December.
2 months from December.
2 months from December.
So that all being said, it will probably be forgiven, but you're going to have to explain to them that you didn't have the intent when you came. Hopefully you didn't have the intent to get married on this trip and you just decided while you were here. But I mean, that agent screwed you.
Yeah, like I told them every single thing. I did not like hide anything. I did not even hide like any of the scenarios. So it's a couple of days, like you mentioned, so within 60 days, but still that can be a problem.
What passport do you have?
I have an Indian passport, but I was eligible for the Canadian one. That really doesn't matter, though. I think
How long have you known your spouse?
we've been together since 2019 and visiting each other since 2019 when the relationship began.
So I don't want you to answer this question, but I'm going to bring something up, okay?
Yeah, sure.
You know, you came in October, you went back home to visit parents, and then you came back December 16th. If you made any marriage plans, wedding plans to occur during that time, like when you were here the first time, or if like you already had set your date and got married in the United States, you're in big trouble.
We did not make any plans, to be honest with you. Like I used to be in the US even before that for a couple of months, go back to Canada and do my thing, come back. So it's been a very recurring pattern for me. Yeah.
So I would say if you get an interview notice, you should bring a lawyer with you, not you can't bring an agent, but you gotta really clean it up.
Okay. Okay. So what's a good way to reach you, your office? Just
Sure.
calling.
You could, email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen. Good luck. Yeah. So with all that being said, now I wouldn't go back for your oath ceremony until you get your green card or advanced parole.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, because the risk is increased now.
The risk is increased now because of that stupid agent.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks. I really appreciate that.
You got it. Hang in there. All right. I'm going to get to Shiraz in just 1 second. I just saw one thing that caught my eye. It was from Chris and Altino. For the removal of the conditions, does the application need to be sent on the exact day of 90s or just the first month when the 90 days start? So I would always wait until 80 days. So you don't want to do it on the exact day because sometimes they receipt it, they cash your check, and then they deny it because you filed 1 day too early. So I wouldn't file in those first 10 days. I would file 80 days or less before the 2-year expiration date. Hope that helps. All right. We got a friend of the show here. Now,
hey, Jim.
For those of you who don't know, Shiraz didn't listen to me for a long time, and then he finally did.
Two months. 2 months.
2 months. All right. So do you want to tell a little bit to everybody about what happened in your case, like what was going on?
Yeah, so my I-45 adjustment of status, green card application, employment based, it got denied on December 11. And I reached out to you with the denial notice. So what happened was USCIS interpreted my priority date, and they thought I was not current at that time. And based on that fact, they sent me erroneous denial. And I spoke to you, and you suggested me to sue them at that time, but I wanted to utilize my motion to reconsider option, and I did go ahead and filed my motion to reconsider. And I also reached out to my congressman. They also sent an inquiry, but I waited for 3 months and nothing happened. And I was running out of patience, and then I joined your live show again, I think a month back. And then I finally decided to sue them, which you told me back in December. and we went ahead and filed a lawsuit, and within 3 weeks I got my green card approval. So
Yeah, and so
thanks.
that's not our usual kind of lawsuit. Mostly what we do lawsuit wise is when we do it on delays, but we've probably done 30 or 40 of these APA violations where they just didn't follow their own rules. I think, Shiraz, I'm pretty sure they hadn't filed sent you a NOID either, had they? Notice of intent to deny. They just
They
denied
did.
it.
They did not send me the NOID, and that's what you listed in your lawsuit as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's funny. There was a guy on the show yesterday. I'm emailing him back and forth, and it's the exact same thing. They said his priority date wasn't current. Were you were EB2?
EB2. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad that it worked out, bud, and thanks for coming on the show. I'm glad you got your green card, and that's pretty amazing because they actually reopen that's so great because when you get the word that they're reopening the case, you know you're in good shape, and then things sort of happen really fast. It's reopen, and then they reissue the decision, and then the green card came, and you have the green card, right?
Yeah, I got the green card. Jim, I will appreciate a lot. I had like 2-3 questions.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, I wanted to ask you. So I got my green card through my employer, and I have been working with this employer for more than 3 years now.
I know what this question is. Yes.
Can
Yeah.
I get it?
As soon as you want. Yeah, it's fine.
So I don't have to be with them for 6 months because some people they suggest to be with them.
I would say that if you have a good reason, and I think there's lots of good reasons. One is my boss is a jerk. 2 is I'm making more money. 3 is I get to move to Florida. Anything you can hang your hat on. I don't think I've never been in an interview on an employment-based green card for somebody who applies for citizenship that comes up.
Okay.
I don't believe that.
The only reason is that I can get good, better opportunity if I. So that's the reason I want to quit. And the other thing I wanted to ask.
I mean, just real quick, Shiraz, just real quick. One thing, it sounds like you've been there a long time. Sometimes there's, contractual documents that they have people sign that says if you leave within a certain amount of time, then you got to pay us back. But as long as you don't have a contractual reason, then immigration-wise, it's okay.
Okay. And the other question was regarding the travel. As far as I researched online, I just wanted to make sure with you that I am correct, that I can travel as long as I can come. I come back within 6 months, and I think if I'm seeking citizenship after 5 years, I should be present in the country for half of the time, which is I think approximately 30 months. So that's what I wanted to get your advice on.
So 3 things to keep in mind: no trips more than 6 months.
Okay.
On the day you apply for citizenship, you look back 5 years, and the question is, out of the last 5 years, has he lived here 2 years, 6 months, and 3 days? Right?
2 years, 6 months, and 3 days. Okay.
And then the last one is, has he lived in the city in which he's applying for citizenship for the last 90 days? So when you apply, you have to prove that you live there for at least 90 days. I think that's a dumb rule, but that's one of the rules.
Okay. So last 90 days where I'm applying from, I have to live in that city.
And no trips more than 6 months. Yep.
No trips more than. But I can have multiple trips, short trips in and out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And just one more thing, that can I have multiple jobs, or do I have to work like related to what I have studied, or can I do anything now?
Anything.
Okay. Okay, that's all I wanted to ask. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Shiraz. Good luck, buddy. See ya. Stay in touch. That's Shiraz. Shiraz always had one more question for me. That's what I always appreciate, Shiraz. He just did it again. That made me laugh because Shiraz always had just one more question. Stuart, what's up?
Hi, I have I'm going to be very quick.
Sure.
I have a friend here who's on a work visa from Nigeria.
Okay.
Can she take a closed loop cruise from Miami coming back to Miami?
That's an entry, so I vote no.
Gotcha.
What kind of visa does she have?
All she said was it was a work visa. I know she's a model, so
a model, yeah. Yes. So it should be okay, but I'd have to know what kind of visa it is.
Okay, well, that was my second question. I am in the middle of getting a 501c3 status. The goal here is to bring as many Nigerian nurses over here as I can for either school or if
Hey,
there
my
are.
man Stuart is hooked up. He's got the Nigerian models. He's got the Nigerian nurses.
I actually have businesses over there, so I travel
Nice.
back and forth constantly.
Nice.
And I just see it as they don't have jobs there like we do here, and
Yeah.
the U.S. is hurting for nurses. So I
Yeah.
went to one of their colleges and said, "Hey, if you want, include our NCLEX into their course so that they can at least study for it.
Yeah.
By the time they graduate there, they have to come here pass the NCLEX. So my question is, once I get this 50C3 status, would you be interested in working to help some of these people?
Not me, but I can connect you to someone who knows exactly how to do these. So believe it or not, nurses and doctors work visas are a specialty within immigration. So I don't even mess with it.
Okay.
I have a lawyer friend. I have season tickets for the soccer team with her. Her name's Tiffany Baldwin, and all she does is doctors and nurses, and it's its own tricky thing. If our friend Nurse Laura was here, she would say. So I just stay out of all that stuff, and I just give them to her. I will tell you that it's hard to get H-1Bs for nurses, but that's all I know.
Gotcha.
Like that's the depth of my knowledge, is that it's not easy, but good luck. And if you send me an email, Stuart, to info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com, I'll put you in connection with Tiffany and you go from there.
All right. Thanks. I'll do that.
Bye, buddy.
Thanks.
All right. That's our friend Stuart. He's got the hookup in Nigeria. Samarth here. Hello, Samarth. You're on mute. Samarth, you're on mute, buddy.
Sorry. So sorry.
It's okay.
Hey, hi, Jim. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Jim, I was here a week ago. I have, you told me already that I will, tell you again that I have been charged for misdemeanor retail theft case.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And you told me that your government or, the embassy in India already might have, canceled revoked your visa. But then I started my research. I checked all my emails. I didn't receive any of the emails. I tried to reach the embassy. They were not responding. I have asked them.
Don't do that. Don't do that. They might not ever find out about your visa. About your shoplifting charge? Don't call the embassy.
I mailed them that I am facing some problems in something like I made up a story, and they were like, unless your visa is not torn or it's not out of status, you can travel to US.
Okay, Samarth,
Yeah.
you need to stop and you need to sit with us and let the process play itself out. I really don't even want to hear about made up a story. That you should never make up a story to the State Department. That's
okay.
That's
sorry.
the federal government.
Yeah.
So what's your question for me?
It's I have done my tickets. I didn't got any internships here, so I'm planning to go to India for summer holidays, but I'm still confused that my visa is revoked or not revoked, or if it's not, while coming back, what kind of question that the Department of Homeland Security or Immigration and Custom Department can ask.
I don't think you're thinking right. I think you should be thinking, my visa has been revoked. If I leave the United States and I never come back, what'll happen? That's how you should be thinking. Even if it's a 5% chance, which I think it probably is about a 5 to 10% chance. If you can't come back to the United States, what happens to your education? What happens to your employability? What happens to your life?
Everything is screwed up.
So you've got to assume the worst, Martha. You've got to assume that they've already revoked your visa, or that when you leave to go back, what if, let's just say, so you're going to go back like in May or June?
I'm gonna be going on May 14th and coming back on August 21st something.
When was the arrest?
It was on the arrest was on December 15th and the court date was on Jan 22nd.
So what if things have gotten busy over in India and now it takes 6 months for an arrest to reach somebody's visa file?
Okay.
I mean, that's entirely possible. Somebody might have been on vacation. They might have been reassigned. They might be dealing with some other shit. Who knows? What if while you're gone, they revoke your visa? I think that's a real possibility.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking a lot. If I go on, they get to know that the student has gone out of the states, revoke the visa.
I think they're pretty. I mean, they're definitely, from when I started practicing immigration law in 2008 till now, they have much more awareness, I would say almost 360-degree awareness of when people leave. Back then, I would say it was like 20, 30 degrees, or, like 1/3 of the cases they knew when people left, maybe. But now it seems like they always know, and I think that could absolutely be a trigger on the visa. Absolutely.
And what are the chances? Like, for example, I was reading them stories on the WhatsApp who have been through this condition. There were some people they got to know when they were in their home country and they reapply for the visa. What are the chances that they get the visa back?
I think 0.
0. If they are even they have completed the 1 year of master and they still left 1 year of the degree.
Oh, they don't care about any of that.
Okay. So the best chance is to wait and then apply for H1B. If I got the H1B, that there are chances that I can.
They might not ever let you back. You didn't follow the rules.
Okay. So what should I do?
You should stay here until you have a green card. I know that's painful, but that's the decision you have to make. Do I want to stay here and hopefully stay on track? Because if I go to Mexico, I go to Canada, I go to India, I might not ever come back.
Okay. Thank you, Jim, for your time. Thank you.
You got it, buddy. Thanks, Siddharth. Yep, for sure. Alexandra's here. Hello, Alexandra.
Hi, Jim. I have been married to a U.S. citizen for the past 2 years. My first green card application was sent 2 years ago, and it got denied because my co-sponsor, which is my mother-in-law, didn't submit her tax returns and the documents she was supposed to submit. My family told me that everything was submitted and then I realized that it wasn't. Anyway.
Wait, hold on. She was a co-sponsor?
Yes.
So wait, mother-in-law didn't do what she promised? Mother-in-law sabotaged your case? It got denied?
Yes. So we applied again a month ago. Exactly end of March, my new application was submitted. And then my relationship with my husband hasn't been great. A few days ago, 3 days ago, he brought me papers informing that he filed for divorce.
I'm sorry to hear that.
In the meantime, there were a lot of threats, both from my mother-in-law and my father-in-law and my husband, that I will be deported to Poland, and they offended me multiple times. And I just don't know what to do at this point. I don't know what my rights are and what I should do, what I shouldn't do. I got all of the letters from USCIS last week that they are processing my case.
So first of all, let me say I'm sorry that you're going through this. Number two, I would suggest that we talk about this off camera so that we can ask you some other questions that you don't have to talk about on camera. You look very sad. I'm sorry, Alexandra.
I've been devastated for the past few days.
I'm sure, sweetheart. Why don't you email me, info@hackingimmigration.law, say, I'm Alexandra. I was on the show at the 42-minute mark. And then I'll probably have you talk to my wife, Amani. She handles a lot of these calls, and she'll be able to tell you what's up.
Mm-hmm. So one more time, what is the best email to reach you?
It's right there on the screen, info@hackingimmigration.law.com.
Mm-hmm.
Just say, I was on the last show. I'm Alexandra.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yep. Sorry, kid. Hang in there.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. That's sad. That makes me sad. All right, hold on. I'm getting a please, Jim. The man is back. What's up, the man?
Hello, Jim. Thanks for taking my call. You're the best. I will spread the word for you forever.
Thank you.
Quick question. Yesterday, you remember the whole thing was you said probably over the summer sometime we'll probably hear something because everything checked out.
Yeah.
The question I have is when we submitted the paperwork, we submitted a photocopy of the birth certificate, and it seemed to say was a long. If it's a long form version, it's okay.
What
then
country?
It said you could include. Well, she's a citizen of Canada, but originally birth certificate lived in Canada 33 years roughly, and originally from Philippines.
You just broke up there for a minute. Say that again.
Yeah, she's a Canada citizen for 30 plus years and originally the Philippines.
So she's born in the Philippines.
Yes, so that's birth certificate was a photocopy. We couldn't get an original, so we submitted it we're just wondering, should we have added like the notarized affidavits, sworn affidavits also, or just the long form copy would have been good with all the other IDs? We had a lot of other IDs that were, bona fide, legitimate.
When people say long form, that makes me start thinking Canadian. Are you talking about a Canadian document or a Filipino document?
Oh, it's a Filipino document. One of them, like, birth certificates that spells out every little detail.
Yeah, hold on a second. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I can take you off camera if you want. Do you want to be off camera, or you don't care?
Yeah, if you could.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, if you could, so I could look at the screen a little better.
Let me see. No, I can't. It's just you and me, kid. All right. So the Philippines for birth certificate.
Right.
All right. The document is called the birth certificate, generally in English format with a few older versions in Spanish format, which would require English translation. It's issued by the Philippine Statistics Authority, the PSA, on controlled color paper with serial number and security features and PSA logo, signed electronically by the National Statistician and Civil Registrar General, and that's who issues it. And it must comply with all that, and it must say all that. So I think you're probably going to get an RFE for a certified copy of that.
And then it said if you can't get a certified copy, you could provide notarized sworn, baptismal or.
Who told you you can't get a certified copy?
They went. I'm not sure the whole details, but it couldn't be located.
I'm calling BS on that. I'm calling BS on because 95 times out of 100, when I tell people, "Have you even tried?" They're like, "Oh no, it's really hard to get." And I go, "Have you tried? Have you tried?
Right.
You got to try, brother. You got to try."
Yeah, she had a family member try, and they couldn't. For some reason, they couldn't get it.
No.
Yeah.
Lawyer.
She's got to try again.
Lawyer in Manila. Pay the money. Don't be cheap. Don't send down cousin Tony, who doesn't know shit from Chinola. You gotta hire a lawyer. Right. Spend a few $100. Have them go get it. Because if you want them to,
for some reason, if it isn't found, for some crazy reason. Yeah.
What'd you say?
It showed like additional other documents that you could submit in lieu of it.
That's the fallback, but you don't get to take advantage of the fallback because you haven't even tried.
Right.
You've got to go through the process.
We did try.
Because if you want them to consider the secondary evidence, you have to also show them the steps that you've taken to comply with their request.
Okay, so if we could show the proof that we tried and couldn't.
But cousin Tony isn't trying. Hiring a lawyer to go down there and get it, that's trying.
Right. So if for some reason, now the secondary steps, if everything fails.
I will be happy to talk to you about the secondary steps after you do what I said. I don't want to talk about secondary steps because you keep lashing on the secondary steps because that's easier. But you have to prove you tried. Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's a hassle. Philippines is a pain in the ass. But when I see a country, I don't deal with Filipino birth certificates all that often, but when I see all those requirements that the Philippine has, then that tells me they're already suspicious of Filipino birth certificates. So that means you've got to do this.
Yeah. So if she was a Canadian citizen for 30-something years, will that documentation assist in clarifying things?
Nope. You only have one birth certificate.
Right. Yep. And I think we're at the end of that trying to get that. So we try with a lawyer.
Actually, you're not. You haven't started.
I got you. So the question is, if we submitted it already, and we should wait to hear from them before we, before we
that's
do
the
that,
lazy. That's the lazy way to do it. Or here's the thing. How old is she?
59.
She's going to need it for the rest of her life. In the United States, you need your birth certificate.
Right. Well, she does have one. It's just a photocopy. It's not a certified one.
Well, all right. I'm going to go with the man.
What's that?
I'm going to go now. See you, buddy.
Yeah. So the photocopy not good enough. We need the original. He said.
He's still litigating it. He's like a lawyer who just doesn't want to give up. He wants to do it his way. All right, Dr. Atif Idris in the house. Hello,
Thank
Doc.
you.
How you
Thank you very
doing?
much. I'm fine. Right now, I'm at University of Florida. So, Ziad Abdul Qadir, Z, ZA Qadir just shared with me about your volunteer work, and I was very happy to know about that. And it's my good luck. At least you accept my request and take me inside.
Awesome.
So, I just wanna have some couple of inquiries which I want to just finish quickly because I know other people are also waiting, so I don't want to take much time.
Okay.
So the first thing is that I have applied for EB2 NIW. As first I was working in China and I come back to US and it was approved and my green card status like mailed to my address, like it everything is done. I sent my family back to Pakistan. I'm from Pakistan. I'm working here as a postdoc scholar. So my question is that, like, let's say my family green card issued, can they come inside with valid I-551, even the green card in my hand? So it shouldn't be any problem. They, if after issuing the green card, they should be take the card and then come to the US. This is number one inquiry.
You're breaking up. I think what you're asking me is, can you get an immigrant visa for your family because they're
No,
outside? What? Okay, it keeps breaking up.
they had already approved with me. My mean they went back to Pakistan after admitting here and their green card is on the way, but they have a valid I-551. So my mean, can they come back with I-551 because I'm scared like a immigration officer asked, even your green card has been issued, but why you didn't take and why you moved to other country state? So what is the better opinion? I send the green card to them, go myself, or is it fine? They can enter with I-551.
My real vote, doctor, is that you go and bring it to them. Second best, a trusted friend to bring it to them, and third would be DHL or FedEx to get it to them. I would much rather have them have the green cards in hand.
Okay, so my mean, it doesn't matter I go or somebody go, but the key point is that if my friend is going or my father is going, they can also give them the green card. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The immigration officer gonna ask. It is a secret document. So how your husband gonna send you? So it's not okay. Perfect. So the second inquiry is that after after the children have the green card, can we get the children health and food benefits with having green card? Is it affect delay in citizenship processing like that?
Does it affect, you mean when you apply for naturalization?
Yes.
No, it doesn't.
So my mean like after my kids, because I have two kids, my kids can get the benefits after they having green card, so it doesn't affect their naturalization, right?
That's right.
Okay. So the third inquiry is that like I'm still working in China. So if I wanna back to country to China for my job to complete my project, so do I need to apply for something like 2 years re-entry permit, something like that? Is it right? How can I be back for 1 or 2 years?
Well, that's messed up. Why are you going to be gone so long?
Because I need to complete my project, and I'm just thinking if it is possible. But if it is complicated, I don't wanna back. But I'm just asking.
What's the least amount of time you can spend in China without being gone too long?
Of course, it's like less than 6 months.
So that's no trips more than 6 months, and I want you to spend half the time in the United States. I mean, they discriminate against men from Pakistan, so don't give them an easy way to mess with your green card. You got something really special, so don't be gone too long and put it at risk.
Okay, so you mean I don't need to take risk and I can spend within that time limit which is available. So don't go further because I heard you apply for the 2 years residence, something like that. So they will give you, and after that you can spend 2 years with valid reason.
But I mean that then begs the question: why'd you get the green card in the first place? Like maybe you applied too early. So you
That's
can't
right.
do that, but I wouldn't.
I got it. I got it. Okay. So the same thing is that if my family wanna stay, like my wife want to stay with her mother condition is not good. So the same condition with them, I don't need to apply for them for 2 years, like
I'm not
re-entry permit.
saying you don't need to, but I'm saying if you can avoid it.
Okay. I got it. So you mean is that like it's better. So it's the same situation with me and with my family, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the last inquiry is that actually I have it is a technical question, but I was confused. I have submitted my mother DS 160 for visa. with unfilled DS-160 form, and I have paid the fees. But after 1 month, I just get to know like that DS-160 has expired. But still, my mother have like the interview in September. So can I fill new and that's it, or do I need to pay again and reschedule the interview?
What do you mean it expired? That seems strange to me. I mean,
So
I don't do visit visa, so I don't know.
my mean I have submit pay their fees and I have filled the DS-160 form. But after 1 month, it's gonna expire if you don't make the submission, final submit and get the final confirmation code. So like I just put fill half and fill left other. So after that I pay the fees, but I just see on YouTube some consultant said like if you didn't fill the DS-160 before fees payment, and it's unfilled, so you need to again reschedule the interview and again pay the new fees. But my mean still we have enough time, so I was thinking because it's better I can fill new DS-160 form and I can just update it.
You can try. I don't know. I don't deal with visit visa, so I don't know.
Okay, so so another thing is that, and about the did you like deal with the asylum visa, like later on if I want to discuss with you about these visas, so you are also dealing or no?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So how gonna I can contact you if I want to?
Yeah, so just send us an email, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com.
Any info? It's also available on your website, right?
Yeah, but it's right here, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com, right underneath your video.
Info at okay. So what should I put? Like inquiry, something like that, to get let you remind.
Write out your question. Yep, sure.
Okay, thank you very much, Jim,
Thanks,
for
Doctor.
your time.
Yep, for sure. All right. Probably got time for one more. Natter's here. Hello, Natter.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me clearly?
I hear you great.
All right. So I have a concern about I submitted an I-130 online using the online platform at USCIS. And I discovered later on that there was a typo in the country of issuance for my beneficiary's passport. She's Egyptian, and it instead of saying Egypt, it said EGY. And it's weird because there's a drop down menu and you're supposed to select Egypt, and it sort of printed EGY on that. Is that something that should concern me, or is that something that could be? I included her Egyptian passport in the package that I submitted to I-130 with the application.
No, I don't think you need to worry about this.
Okay. How would you suggest going about correcting it, or?
You don't need to. They'll figure it out.
Okay, I'm just making sure it's not much of an issue. Thank you so much.
You got it, Natter. Good luck, buddy.
All right.
All right. Yep, you too. Thanks. Tavino, what do you say? Hi, Tavino. You're on mute.
Oh, hi, Jim. How are you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So, my question today is I submitted a N400 online via the e-process, but I was away in basic training. So by the time I got back, I couldn't respond to the request for evidence with that N426.
Mm-hmm.
I've since submitted the N426 probably like a month ago.
What did they ask for?
The N426, which is like the ride-along document for filing through the military.
Okay, I don't
Or
know that. Yeah, okay.
So I didn't submit in time where that 90-day window or that response time for the request for evidence ought to be submitted.
Yeah.
But I submitted afterwards. I'm just wondering if, since they didn't kick back or deny the case, should I resubmit or withdraw the case?
How long ago did you send in the RV response?
Literally I sent it like last month.
Yeah, I mean, are you gonna be in the States and not deployed for a while?
Yes, I'm gonna still be here. I don't deploy until like 2026.
Yeah, you might call USCIS and see what they see on their systems. Go ahead.
So I think I contacted them and they're saying that it's not denied as far as the case is concerned. It's just saying being reviewed.
I'd give it like a month or two. If nothing happens after 90 days, I would withdraw that case and reapply.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your service, Tavino. See you, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, bye. All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's show. Another good one. Thanks for all the calls. We'll be back. What's today? Wednesday. So we'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central. What the heck? That can't be right. What the heck? Tomorrow, 5 o'clock. That seems really late. Yeah, no. I'm not doing that. Let's see. Yeah, I might do it at 3 tomorrow. Well, just stay tuned. So I'm not doing 5 o'clock. I don't think. Does Nor have softball? Maybe I'll do it at 5. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh yeah, I can do it. 5 o'clock tomorrow it is. All right, everybody. How about that? We'll be back tomorrow, 5 o'clock p.m. Central for all you late yardies. Hope you all had a good night. Thanks everybody for being here. And thanks, Huli, for supporting me and the show and the team. I hope you all guys all have a great night, and we'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central, where we're trucking